Seedance 2.0. We are cooked. It's the beginning of the end for us. I've been watching a lot of Seedance videos on TikTok, on X, on Bilibili, on Instagram. It is all I see right now. All over my feed, all over everyone's feed for this very reason. With a simple prompt, supposedly you could now create any type of video you want that looks and feels as real as any films and shows you currently watch. Like, where does that leave me and the God knows how many influencers depend on views and reach to survive? If you can't beat them, then join them, but this is different. Not only can I put myself into Hollywood movies with almost zero budget, but I could now create with images or through text virtually anything that my mind can imagine, right? I've been watching giant cats fighting Ultraman. A Chinese goddess fight Voldemort and becoming a professor of the dark arts at Hogwarts. Jet Li fighting Jackie Chan, like the young versions. Camera lens, lighting, and model exactly the same as those old movies. Modern to old camera setups. I am speechless. That's all I've been watching for the last few days is Seedance videos. And so it's the beginning of the end of influencers, and I've said before that AI killed the influencer star, just like video killed the radio star. So I'm adapting. How to adapt? I don't know, man. I've been trying different things. But either way, I will survive, I will adapt. But this is nothing like I've seen ever. The only times I have felt a huge shift in the landscape of social media was when Midjourney became popular. That's when I started to feel the shift, is the text to image space. You can create these super realistic videos now. Images back then, right? And then the next moment was the second, which was ChatGPT images. Okay, that was the second shift that I felt under my feet. It's still text to image. The third shift I felt was Nano Banana from Gemini, where it was focused on not text to imagery, but text to image editing, where it wasn't about how good you can create an image from words, but how good you can change the image with words that you upload into the AI. So Gemini was that third shift. And the fourth shift was when VO3 came out. Super realistic, super funny memes were created The fifth shift was when Sora 2 came out. And that was when I was starting to be like, okay, the cameo feature is wild. You can feature yourself and others in these like super cinematic, realistic situations. Multi-frame, just with a single upload of a video of you recording yourself, talking to the camera within Sora 2 to create that version of you. And the sixth shift that I felt, perhaps the biggest shift I've felt since this entire journey of being on social media, I have never experienced this, was when Seedance came out this week. And it's not even out yet. It's like trickling into the consciousness of consumers and businesses. And I say this because the outputs that you can create, these 15, 16-second outputs, you can reimagine endings from your favorite shows and movies from different time periods. And the style of cinematography, direction, and script writing reflect the times they were created in, which is crazy how it understands nuance and context in a multi-frame model in a way that you would believe that same director shot it through. Same writers. You can imagine your favorite character. Let's say I can put Harry Potter, the young version of Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, I can take him out of Harry Potter, I can put him into Breaking Bad and have him make, drugs with Walter White, right? I can take Daenerys from Game of Thrones, have her ride a dragon, and have her fight Voldemort from Harry Potter at Hogwarts. And it looks exactly like them. I'm not saying I've seen the last 2 or 3 examples I mentioned, but I've seen similar examples on par where you cannot distinguish that you're watching AI. And the only reasons I could tell they were AI is because it was written a warning sign that this is AI. And that freaked me the F out. Because if I cannot tell, imagine the people who don't usually watch AI content have to say about this. And I am constantly looking at AI images, watching AI videos, because I'm kind of in this space and I'm constantly consuming this content. I watch, tens if not hundreds of videos every day, 7 days a week. And this sixth shift, it's made me realize that my days are numbered. It's made me realize that people are going to, as long as they have the funds to, which is not much money at all, create fan fiction. And they're going to create better content in terms of entertainment value than I'm able to put out. Those who want authenticity can still get it from me. People like me, face brands, where they can talk to someone. But even that can be faked, right? I mean, I can definitely look like myself, but I could also be somebody acting like me. And you won't even notice. Now you might be able to notice, but eventually it's going to be 100% definitely. I don't know when, but if Midjourney can do it, then videos can do it. And we're practically there. We're like 0.1% there already. Like we're just 99% already there, and there's only like 0.1% left of the equation. And what surprises me is that there are people still saying that this is AI slop. Dude, this is not AI slop, okay? This is AI masterpieces. This is the current pinnacle, peak of AI performance that we've never seen, ever, in the history of media. What's going to happen to VFX artists, 3D artists? They're cooked. Influencers, cooked. A micro shift, perhaps the 5.5 shift between Sora 2 and Seedance, I believe, was Kling 3.0 and Kling motion control, right? Where the deep fakes were starting to get really good. But now, you don't have to use the complicated setups anymore to create multiple scenes, because creating one scene is easier, but it's not easy. You might have to try a number of times to get one scene good, and then you have to make sure the audio is good and the environment's good and the speech matches up. Now you can just do that with a prompt, supposedly. Just create multiple scenes in a row with a prompt. That's insane. That's never been done before. Multi-scene videos, 16 seconds long, completely cinematic, completely perfected in the physics of the cinematography. It's practically flawless. So, go to Bilibili, go to Instagram, go to TikTok. It's going to be all you see. And it's going to blow you away like it blew me away. I'm sure of that. I'm still going to be in this space. I'm still going to be here. I'm here for the long term. I don't see myself going anywhere. I used to want to be an actor. That's what brought me into social media. The hopes of treating social media like a springboard to kind of launch me on my journey of the world stage in terms of screen acting, but that never happened. Every day that passed, it would be more and more murky whether or not that would become a reality. And now that Seedance came out, it's definitely not a reality anymore. Yes, I can choose to start over, start from scratch, take acting classes, submit my resume and my headshots, my demo, my reel to these studios, casting directors to try to get us audition at one of these. Look, the whole process is about to be upended. I saw a video where Brad Pitt was fighting Tom Cruise. It looked so real. And it was like modern cameras. I couldn't believe it, so I turned up the volume to see whether or not the voice acting matched up with the actor. And it did. And I was blown away again. It's like I am constantly amazed and surprised by Seedance this week. And I'm going to be watching more videos. I'm going to be seeing more examples of how they're doing it. And this is the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. That if I don't catch up, keep up, learn in real time, and share what's happening, I'm afraid it's over. We are cooked. Face brands are cooked. We're no longer relevant. Authenticity is over. We can still be around, and we can still share content, but the ability to differentiate real from fake is gone. And the desire to watch people like me is over. Because people are going to create what they want to watch in their own imaginations. So they're going to think of endings, alternate endings to movies and videos they thought should have ended in a certain way. Maybe the main character shouldn't have died. Maybe he should have lived. He should have beaten the bad guy. They're going to create that ending. And then people are going to watch it because not only were they thinking of it, but also other people who think like them are thinking of that too. And so that's definitely going to happen, and it's happening right now. In the order of it happening, animation, it's going to happen first, which it already is happening. And then live action is going to happen, which is already happening, but at a slower pace. Now, if you see artifacts in animations that AI is creating, right? You see Dragon Ball videos, Studio Ghibli videos, you see like a video where it's like, you know, Doraemon and, you know, the Dragon Ball Z characters like in the same content, and you would ask yourself, dude, I can't even, like, is this real anymore? Can I tell it's AI? No, you can't. And people who are saying they can tell, they're saying they can tell because there's an AI label on it, right? And so, where does that leave us? That IP is dead. I can take a character from any video game, and then put it in another video game and have them fight each other. And it looks exactly like the video game footage. Like probably have SpongeBob, you know, fighting Dumbledore from Harry Potter in a Mortal Kombat video game. And it probably looks like it, exactly like how they would appear. And you gotta ask yourself, like, are VFX artists out of a job? CG artists out of a job? And the people who have been screaming loud against AI and saying, oh, this is an illustration, learn how to pick up a pencil. I did this with 3D animation, digital art. So I am respectable. I am honorable because I didn't use AI in this, right? But now you're cooked. It's over. People don't care. They don't mind if it's AI as long as they're entertained. And part of the entertainment is the suspension of disbelief, which is and has happened. So those of you who are saying that AI is never going to take over, people are still going to want this or that, don't even know that everybody is going to be watching their own imaginations because they are going to want to watch what they most want to see happen in their minds. And that is the end of the destination of this whole journey. People are still going to want to connect with others. There is still going to be a longing for community to talk about this kind of thing, to share tips on techniques and skills and creativity and style and prompting methods for the newest AI. But I believe that social media is still going to continue to rise because it is a platform and a space where people can kind of post videos to that they create, you know, imaginations in their own minds of endings that should have happened in movies and TV shows and video games. And they're going to post that on these platforms, and it's just going to blow up, and then they're going to get recognition, and then they're going to grow as an influencer. And then it is like the age of the faceless influencer right now. We are cooked. Where does that leave people like me with faces? I think what is good right now is just to keep up. I think live streaming is still relevant, but IRL live streaming is going to be perhaps the only space that is left untouched by all the other spaces. I mean, like, if you sit stationary at a computer and you look at a screen, you could be anybody behind that computer, right? And it's very easy to fake. But if you're walking around like the real world, it's kind of like AR, it's kind of harder to fake right now. So I'm at Chimay Museum. It is February 12th, 2026. I think I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. It is 2:24 p.m. in Taiwan. And I was walking around the museum and looking at all these oil paintings, asking myself, should I get back into painting? People want to see the process more than they want to see the final work these days because the final work can be copied and created in seconds with AI. I think people are starting to admire and long for the process of and behind the curtain of the creation of a video, an image, or a piece of content, whatever that may be, whatever form it may take. And so, is the world in danger? Is there an AI scare? Recently, there's been a lot of people from huge AI companies leaving those companies, you know, saying they created something dangerous and they want to take part in it in a different way in the future. Is there a scare? Yes, there is a scare. I have to look more into this, but is the world in danger? I mean, looking at Seedance, I don't know what else is going to come out of China. I don't even know if I should move to China. I mean, I am in Taiwan. I'm right next to China, right? And so the conversation of whether or not it's like time for me to move to China, I don't know. I'm a US citizen, you know. I was born and raised in Texas. I've been living in Taiwan for like 20 years almost, but I've been in Asia for 20 years, and I've only been back to the US like twice in the last 20 years. I was looking at these oil paintings, Rodin sculptures, right? El Greco, the painters, and Max Ernst, you know, the creators that we saw in history books and in museums in the US, as well as other countries. I mean, these were the old masters, you know? And I believe that like the modern masters are creators of video. And I believe that yes, there are still people who like to see art in the traditional sense, but I believe that there needs to be video attached to the final oil painting output. I don't believe people still want to see oil painting images unless it is a part of a video process where people see how the art was created. Convincingness, like they need to be convinced that what they're watching and looking at is non-AI. It is somebody creating the work. So that's why I've been thinking a lot about whether or not I should go back to creating actual paintings, physical paintings and drawings, is because the question around authenticity and people's longing for connection is still there, and people are still entertained at a superficial level, but their longing for the deeper human connection is also still there, and they're not able to get it with AI. Now, they can save themselves with AI content, get advice from an AI guru, talking to them with an AI voice on a platform through AI video. They can still do that, but I think there's still a demand for human beings like me. It's just, I think it's in IRL content, whether or not it's IRL live streaming, IRL videos, short form content, horizontal, long form. I think podcasting is still going to be around. Podcasting with AI, I think, is a great entry into the AI space. If you haven't done that yet, I've done a few episodes of that, and I'm going to look more into that. But I think these three areas are going to still be around, right? So we got IRL live streaming, IRL videos in the form of short form and long form content, and IRL podcasting, perhaps, right? Where you're out in nature, you're just having like conversations, just interactions, content that displays and shows, speaking and doing through real life scenarios. So I think being in Taiwan is a great environment. It's very safe. It's very suitable to make content here because of how safe the environment is. And also the lifestyle, the living standards are very high for a very low price. And I think that areas like Taiwan are going to attract a lot more content creators who are going to create a lot more IRL content. Unless you are able to be a faceless content or a face content that does gaming or some type of talking head content with live streaming, I think there's still a demand for that. It's just that it's harder to fake real life environments like this, right? So we're in Shimei Museum, we're out in the garden, there are sculptures everywhere. It's a beautiful environment. And being in the AI space, being in the content space, or just being in Taiwan in general, right? I find that making friends is very difficult because I'm not in college anymore, number one. I believe the last friends you truly make are the ones from college. Number two is because the Americans and the Taiwanese have very different cultures. So I come from the USA, so I'm used to like, hey, I'm bored, I'm gonna go over to your house, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna have a conversation, and it's just gonna be awesome because I like you, I like your personality, I don't want anything from you. I'm not hanging out with you because I want to climb the social ladder. I'm not hanging out with you because I want something from you. I'm not hanging out with you because I'm waiting to receive some type of benefit from you or do some type of collaboration from you. I just want to hang out with you because I like you and I think you're cool, or I think you're funny, I think you're interesting, you're creative, you scratch my itch, we can be friends. But in Taiwan, I feel like it is very, unless you're a part of the same family, or unless you are married and create your own family, it is a very transactional environment where, okay, you have your friends from your school days, you have your friends from college, and then that's it. And then after that, at least for me, I haven't really made like true friends in the sense where I could, hey, I'm gonna hang out with you because I like you, because you're a cool person, I think you're funny, whatever. But in America, I find that no matter what age I am, I could always create friends like that. And in Taiwan, I can't. Everything is a transaction. Everything is an exchange of business. Everything is an exchange, a barter of, hey, let me give you this and then you give me this. And if I no longer need this from you, then I don't or have a need or reason to pick up the phone call. That's how I feel about being in Taiwan. That is one of the sad things about this environment. It's very difficult to make friends. Maybe my Chinese isn't as good. Who knows? Maybe I need to make my Chinese better. Maybe things will be different. But I have found that to be the case, being here for nearly 20 years. Taiwanese collectivism. There is a saying that if you make it abroad, then you make it in Taiwan, right? So you have influencers who leave Taiwan and then they do really well. They become content creators, or they become fashion designers, models, actors, even politicians, right? And if you have a huge US audience outside of Taiwan after going to that area, right? Then when you come back, they give you a hero's welcome. Like, oh, welcome back. Taiwanese collectivism, you know? Collectively, we welcome you back. You know, you are one of us, and blah, blah, blah. So that's a very big thing here. Like, you can be really famous in Taiwan, and sure, people will know who you are, but it's a different level, even an alien level. If you are super famous worldwide, and then you come to Taiwan, and you're Taiwanese, you are bigger than the biggest person in Taiwan. Think about that. Taiwanese collectivism. You know, oh, I'm proud. You know, we are honored. There is this like very deep traditional ancestral pride of being a part of this family. Oh, you're a Wayne, right? You have to be this way. You have to be this kind of person. You have to make this amount of money or whatever. Collectivism. Very big thing here. Is separation of church and state a good thing? Taiwanese, there's a growing population of Christians. There's also people who worship their ancestors, which is like the big thing here. I know in different countries they have different religions, but is it good to separate religion and the rest of society? And I think it's not a good thing. I think you need to be or have a main religion, a main thing to be your thing. Because then you have a ceiling, you have accountability, you have a reason to do things. If people don't know why you did this certain thing, and they know your religion, they can kind of guess. There's like a more of a relatability and a trust culture. But if you have many different religions in the same environment, it's hard to trust each other because everyone believes in a different baseline principle of why they do things, right? I think religion is good as long as extremism is in check. I think governments should have religion so that, you know, from the head down, like a cone, the more narrow you go, the more it influences. I think having a moral compass is good. A guide, a North Star, to lead the people towards a direction, principally, morally, societally, where the population grows, people live from, you know, birth to adulthood and to old age. I think that's really important. Those two factors, right? A safe environment and an environment to, where you can populate. I think the preservation of a culture should be the majority of the environment. For example, Japan having a lot of Japanese people, I think that's healthy. Japan with no Japanese people, I don't know. Taiwan with a lot of Taiwanese people, healthy. Taiwan with no Taiwanese people, I don't know. So I think that the preservation of a culture is more important than losing the culture, because maybe you don't have a big enough workforce and then you kind of import a lot of people that don't blend into the culture but kind of take it over and carve their own corner out of it, like mixing oil and water where the edges meet but don't mix, and the oil surpasses the water and then the water is kind of like kicked out of the ecosystem. Extremely dangerous, because then you don't have the culture of the country. And I think there's a pity to that. I think it's good to preserve your culture, your identity. And I think that homogeneous societies, if they are the majority of the population being the same culture, I think that is healthy. And I think that a society that is fragmented equally of different cultures is dangerous and harmful to one another. I truly believe that. And I don't think having an equally split society that is not homogeneous, I think that's dangerous. I think that diversity is dangerous if the host homogeneous society becomes overly fragmented to the point where they become a minority of that fragmented whole of the pie. I think the pie, the majority of it still should be the culture of the host country. To say it very vaguely, but I think you get my point, is that we should keep countries culturally the same. I think it's good to have people come in to populate themselves, but not past the point of a certain percentage of the population of the whole. And I don't think that is wrong to stop the importation of more people to where it'll gradually erode the population of the host country. I think homogeneity is very important, as long as it is above a percentage level. Compared to the loss of the population of that host country, where are you going to find the workers? Well, if you can't find the workers, then you have to ask yourself, what do you think is more important? Do you think your culture is more important? Or do you think that money is more important? If money is more important, then you're not going to care if your country is taken over by people who did not belong there in the first place. I think about that a lot. I think a country should naturally shrink. If it cannot sustain itself economically, it put itself in that position. It should economically shrink. And if it doesn't, and it economically grows while the population of the homogeneous host culture shrinks, then you're going to lose that population. And if you lose that population, what's going to happen to them? They're going to be homeless, because that was their only home. That is the source of those people. You understand that? It isn't like America, where a lot of cultures kind of inhabited it, but the host population is Caucasian. I think that Caucasians should make up most of Canada and the USA. I think Japanese East Asians should take up most of Japan. I think Korean East Asians should take up most of Korea. And I don't think it's wrong to say that. A lot of people built America. A lot of people built Canada. A lot of people built Australia, perhaps, where they moved there and they settled there and then they grew the population. But I think that the host people, or the people that built the current laws governing that body, that government, that environment, I think that host race, the culture, it should maintain and stay the majority. That's a healthy situation. And all the other cultures that come in should blend into. They should respect the host culture and blend into them. And they should not expect the host culture to blend into the minority. That is ridiculous. It is a self-inflicting wound that I keep saying time and again, where the host culture, in order to please the population and make the population of the small amount of people happy, that small amount of people grows. And then as that small group of people become more and more people, the same government just continues to try to make that growing group more happy. Well, why are they trying to make that growing group more happy? To create more people through birth in their host countries of another culture? Well, then why are they trying to multiply the populations of, well, are there not enough workers? Well, we come to that point again. If there are not enough workers, then what should you do with the current ratio population? Do you care or not care? I think we should care. I think preserving culture is more important than economy. Maybe that's a stupid thing to say. Maybe that's a very ignorant and dumb and naive thing to say. And history might not care about the culture or what race or culture the host country used to be before they were taken over by other cultures. But I think that homogeneity is a healthy thing. No matter what country you enter, when I go to a certain, if I go to Japan, I want to see Japanese people. Of course. Of course. If I come to Taiwan, I want to see Taiwanese people. If I go to America, I want to see Americans, right? And so and it's like you want to have compatible cultures too. So I noticed that we got a little Westie joining us. Hello. Hello. Ooh, ooh, ooh. She's exciting. Very excited. Oh, she's excited. Oh, look at that. Say hi. Say hi. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. So, is diversity really a strength? Yes, it is a strength if it is harnessed. If it is out of control, it no longer becomes a strength, but it becomes the weak link and the point at which you are destroyed, the weak joint in which you will fall. I truly believe that. And after seeing all this AI stuff, again, I don't feel like I'm impressed anymore. I feel like I've seen and felt every type of content out there. The spectrum of human content, I think we've reached that pinnacle where AI is able to reproduce like all of it in its whole. And the spectrum of AI content, it's very new territory because now we've opened up the feed for the entire comment section to create content, to make content for the feed. And so we have normal people with no social media just creating content now. They're able to recreate their favorite endings or recreate non-existent endings to their favorite movies and shows. And they're able to be entertained by the imaginations from their own minds. And that's going to flood the feed again, and that is already disrupting the ecosystem. I'm not impressed by anything I see people do anymore because in one shape or form or another, within the spectrum of the possibility, I've seen enough of what people are able to do, right? And so all the content creators out there, mukbangs, entertainment, comedy, skits, gaming, everything. I've seen so many shades of them that I'm not impressed anymore by what I see. Oh yeah, it's funny. Oh yeah, you're a good dancer. Oh yeah, that's cool. That CGI VFX video you made is awesome. Oh, okay, the behind the scenes, you showed me how you made that commercial. That's great. But I don't really care in the big scheme of things because I've seen so many variations of that. Where every platform, in every type of feed, I'm getting so much content. Again, I consume hundreds of content. Like this is what I do 24/7. I've seen so much content that I am numb, and I feel, I'm not sure if you do the same, that I'm numb to whatever comes at me now. And the only stimulation I feel is from Seedance, is from Sora 2, is from VO3. Those are the only types of content that stimulate me, and those are the types where humans are behind the AIs writing prompts and creating these videos for me to consume. And I don't care if you're a real person doing real things anymore. Oh, that's great, you could eat that much? Great. But I'm not really impressed. Because in one way or another, if you make 1,000 of those videos, I know the first one and the 1,000th one is gonna look and feel similar, if not the same. I know that if I go to another content creator and I see them do that in their own way, their own style, it's gonna be within the spectrum of possibility, that of which I've already seen and experienced, looked and feel, the whole shebang. The frontier of look and feel, of inventiveness, of stimulation is going to come from the world of AI, and that's just going to go deeper and deeper into the future. So creating AI content, creating content talking about AI, I think is going to be, and already is, the next and present frontier now. And so, man, I'm going to go back and watch some more Ultraman videos, these giant cats or anime characters fighting Ultraman. And I think everyone understands what we're going through on like a collective level. Like we all kind of understand it, we all get it. A lot of us are handling it really badly, and a lot of others are handling it really well. And the ones who are coping the hardest are the ones who are most easily replaced. The artists who cannot create better videos than the AI videos coming out today. The content creators, the people who eat, the people who do ASMR, who cannot entertain their audience better than those niches can, that are made with AI. They're being replaced. Again, there's still a need for human connection, which is why I mentioned that in real life, live streaming and short and long vertical and horizontal videos of real life people in real life places, it's still going to be a real thing because that thing is going to be hard to copy. So anything that's hard to copy is still going to be relevant and is still going to be and have a demand for. People are still going to hunger for that kind of content is what I'm saying. And so in this world of connectivity, there is also disconnectivity. People want to be Luddites and kind of tune out. I know I do. I just came back from a camping trip about a week, and I've been able to kind of shut my brain off from the main channel and have been able to focus on my other channel and channels and do other things, right? Kind of check out from my main identity. And nobody really understands what I'm going through, how hard it is to keep up, as well as raise a family, as well as take care of my health, as well as take care of my family, as well as take care of my finances, take care of my mental health, of my physical strength, so that I can try to live longer. No one understands that. You might have a similar experience than me. Not many people are in the AI space and the personality space and try to juggle all of these other things while being 42 years old. And no one understands what I'm going through, and that's okay. You are unique. You have your own problems, your own struggles and conflicts. I will never understand what you're going through, and that's okay. But the important thing is I understand that no matter how hard my life is, I know that your life is equally hard or harder than mine. And that's okay, because we're all in it together. And I think that's like where the human connectivity is important and falls within, is the ability to know that you're not alone and to know that the universe is with you if someone is talking with you and connecting with you. So I hope I'm connecting with you. I hope this is not too much rage bait. And I hope that I am a good person at the end of the day when I look back in my life, that my son will be proud of me, my family will be proud of me, my daughter will be proud of me, and that I can watch content and not have to worry about whether or not good people that I see are really good people, because it's really disappointing to see all these great people come out with all these crazy stories and scandals and all these things. And just because they have scandals and stories, it doesn't make them bad people. I think social media has fueled an environment where good people who look like they're doing bad things can be easily misunderstood, and that there are many sides to a story, and that just because you have a scandal, it doesn't mean that you don't deserve a second chance. I think that AI is going to make it really hard for people to understand, where I can take a video of myself doing crazy things and then create a scandal for myself, and then people asking the same thing, hey, is this person really a good person at the end of the day? In this day and age, I don't think it's really important if you're a good person or not. I don't think in the small speck of the universe and the never-ending timeline of the galaxy, it matters if you're a good person. I don't even think it matters if you leave a legacy. But you have to have it matter in order for your life to be meaningful. So in the big picture, nothing we do actually matters, because we're just like dust on the beach. We are like particles of sand on the shore. It doesn't matter in the big scheme of things what we do, but it needs to matter to us in order to give meaning to our lives, in order for us to have a reason to get up in the morning and to have hope to kind of do stuff, right? AI or what have you, personality and comedy. So, I hope there was not too much rage bait. I think rage bait is important. It's important to say things that like piss people off and stir up people and make them emotional, but also there needs to be substance behind it. So I hope there was some good things here. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.